Hello everyone, and how are you doing for the first video on this channel? It's going to be a hand analysis, a hand review of a hand I played online. And really just wanted to get your thoughts from the community on how I played this hand. If you kind of understand my logic, my thinking that went behind my decisions that I made here. If you think it was good, bad, or indifferent, if you would have done something different, street by street. Leave that in the comments here on Facebook or on this video, because I really just want to know what your guys' thoughts are. I feel good about my reasoning behind my decisions, and I'm gonna post more of these videos, especially just like really tough spots, whether it be tournament or cash. And today's video that we're going to be reviewing, this hand that we're going to be reviewing, is from a cash game. It's 50 cents a dollar online, and the max buy-in is 100 big blinds, so $100. So I'm sitting at 168, and I am the under the gun +1 position, and I get ace king not suited, ace of clubs, king of spades. So let's go, and I go ahead and open to 2.5 bigs here, and then the cutoff 3 bets me, which is expected. Now, I haven't played with this player too much. We'll kind of go into that a little bit. And I have a decision to make. The blinds get out of the way, and I could 4-bet if I really wanted to here. He's got me covered, so if he has something really strong that really screws me over in regards of aces and kings, I could be in a world of hurt here. So I'm just going to flat and play a flop and see what happens, especially being out of position. Just kind of want to see what happens on the flop, so I just call. And before we see the flop, let's just kind of take a notice. I only have 120 hands. I do use a HUD here from Drive HUD, but only 120 hands, so 3 out of 9 chances here he 3-betted on the button. So it's not, it's such a small sample size. I don't know how aggressive really that is. He could have just had some major premium holdings at that time, so I'm not really putting too much stock in that. So when I'm reviewing this hand, we're going to go ahead and use our Equilab here, and we're just going to go ahead and just do 10 to kind of narrow his range before we even see a flop here, just in our mind. And I'm just going to take away these pocket pairs because I think that's a little too aggressive to be 3-betting with. And he may have a much better wider range here, but we're going to tighten it up a little bit. This is a more reasonable, and even this ace 10 suited, king 10 suited, queen 10 suited, don't really see that. So I really see a tighter 3-betting range from him, and I could be wrong for putting such a range on a player that I don't really know. That could be my first mistake, but that's what we're kind of gonna go with. So let's take a flop, and we got a monotone board, guys. So alarm bells are going off, and that's kind of what I want to make this video is, the longer I've played, monotone boards really don't scare me as much, especially this monotone board. What's so great about it is we got ace and a king on it, so that really limits a lot of his diamond 3-bets if you think about it. If we look at this range, what diamond 3-bets does he have? Well, he has the pocket queens, which, like, you've seen in poker, ace king facing queens happens all the time. That's the most logical hand that he could possibly be holding here. Any king queen suited, ace queen maybe I'm blocking them with the ace, but queen jack suited maybe. So, and possibly jacks. He could have a jack of diamonds. So that's really what I'm thinking in my mind, because I got a top 2 pair here. I'm just really not scared of this. So I want him to make the move, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and check, and he checks. So we'll come back to that at the end of this hand on what I think about that. In my mind in real time, I'm thinking, well, he could be slow playing one diamond. I don't really see him having two here. Possibly. It's very rare that he has two that he would be 3-betting with. So in my mind, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So the 8 doesn't really help him much here. So we're going to put out a bet, a feeler bet. Just go half pot here, $9, see what he does. And he 5x raises me. So in this situation, I'm really thinking to myself, okay, what is he saying with this? Well, it obviously could be just an unabashed bluff. Because what do I do on turn? Either check raises or just straight up raise in position. Usually it's I have a really strong hand, or I have a great bluff hand that I can push a middling strength to slightly strong hand off of my opponent. That's what I do on turn raises of such. And you know, I haven't advanced my game to get into big, huge raises on the turn. I'm usually like a pot raiser. That's usually where I'm at, you know, and that's one thing in my game I could probably try to figure out and work with Equilab and find places where I do need to put like a 2x, 3x pot type of raising. So, I mean, he's going for it, man. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, it's a lot easier. I mean, say that he does have aces or he does have kings. That only gives him one combo left, right? Because if you think about it, I got what, the king of spades, and there's a king of diamonds on the board. So you see all these combos here. If I can get to it. Okay, so you see that top row, king of diamonds, no longer exists. That side row over there, the king of spades, all of those combos no longer exist. So there's only one combo of kings left. So it's rare for him to have that, right? I mean, he could definitely have it. Same thing for aces, only one combo of aces left. So in my mind, I'm like, man, he's either turning this into like crazy bluff, or he's got queens with a diamond, and he could be bluff catching, or he just already has me beat and he's going to Value Town, man. But for some reason, I just don't think he has me, because I'm blocking out so many of his premium hands, and there's just not that many diamond hands that he could possibly have that he would 3-bet with. So that's my logic. That's what I'm thinking. But in my mind, I am kind of thinking pocket queens with a queen of diamond. So of course, what comes on the river is another diamond. So I'm thinking, well, I'm sunk. This pot's up to 109 now. And I'm thinking, well, we're probably getting it all in. Should I just go ahead and do it to possibly get some fold equity since I'm first act? Or do I just let him do the honors? Because right now I'm pretty much committed. I do want to see if I am coolered here. Even though 2-pair isn't the greatest hand to have on such a monotone board, having the ace and the king of diamonds on the board really helps kind of take a lot of that strength away from his 3-betting range. So I check, and of course he jams. Well, we're gonna get stacked here, you know. But, you know, I did my homework here on the pre, the flop, and the turn. Really in my mind just thinking of what kind of diamond does he have. And really on the, to be able to check the flop and then put in a huge raise with just queens, mind you. With just queens with the diamond. You're hoping that diamond comes because he knows I have an ace or a king for sure. So that seems kind of risky to me. King, queen. Now king, queen, but he wouldn't have it suited. It'd be like king, queen with a diamond. Does he 3-bet that? Is that in his range? I mean, maybe. Queen, jack. That's possible, but you know, still I'm just not sold on this. So of course I call it down, and what does he have? But king, queen of clubs. So yes, he turned his turn, what for him was a turn bluff, and then a turn river jam bluff. And I think his first mistake was not leading out, not c-betting on the flop. And for me, I am actually getting more active with monotone boards for the fact that I want to know, if you continue, are you holding? And I can kind of narrow your range down a little bit more if you are holding, you know, a diamond. Because on the turn, yeah, you raise, but you didn't c-bet on the flop. So, and I know how he was trying to make this look. He was trying to make it look like he already had the hand. He already had a made hand. So he's going to slow play it on the flop and then just like come in hard on the turn. I get that. But because the ace and the king of diamonds were already out there, that actually narrowed his range and it made it more difficult for him to make that play. So let me know what you think. Was this a good call down on my part? Should I have called that turn raise? Would you have called that turn raise, and would you have called that river jam? You know, that's a lot of money for me. I'm a small stake player. That's a lot of money. That's a tough call down. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will be hopefully producing more of these videos. And I'll check you out then. Thanks and have a good one.